So, Mark, you have published and written like 4 books, I believe. And I
Yeah.
have read your like one of your first books. I didn't
Yeah.
get a chance to read your recent book, but I have read this book. And let me tell you, be honest, like I would be honest, this was one of those books, like if I really wanted to understand everything, I had to make notes, and I don't do that. Like this is very rare to me. Like I make notes with pencil on a notebook, and I feel like I should give it another go, because still I feel like I'm missing something. I should learn more. So again, like I'm grateful for that. Like you gave me opportunity to it give me a chance to like make another go on how to read a book, on how to understand things. So Mark, again, like you have written books. Could you like tell me, man, like what was your childhood like, and what makes you step into this behavior, into this human behavior field?
Lovely. Yeah. So as a child, I was really interested in animal behavior, especially sea life. I love to get down on a beach, and I love to mess around in rock pools and, handle crabs and sea anemones and starfish and fish. And I was really interested in the movement of water and the movement of those animals. So I've always been interested in the way things move. And of course, the interesting thing is, everything in the universe moves all the time. Even when you stand still, understand you're part of a planet that is moving, which is part of a galaxy that is moving, which is a part of a universe which is constantly expanding. So yeah, so everything moves. Everything moves. The one thing that, there are many things that connect us, Harpreet. We're both upright hominids. We both have roughly 2 arms, 2 legs, and a head in the same place. Our body works more similarly than it's ever going to be different. There's more that's the same about you and I than there is ever going to be any difference. And one of the great similarities is we move all the time, whether we like it or not. So I've been obsessed with movement, and especially obsessed with how movement can influence and persuade people. So as a kid, I was very interested in visual art and how you can draw pictures, especially moving pictures. I love animation, how you can make pictures move in such a way that a human being looks at those images and goes, that's real. That's a real thing. It has feelings, it has emotions. And of course it doesn't. It's just encoded in the right way in order to trigger us as human beings into feeling like that other thing has feelings and emotions. So I got very interested in what we can do as human beings on purpose to trigger other human beings into a feeling, how we can influence and persuade them around feelings. So that's been my history. And like you say, I've been doing this for, gosh, well over, I guess, 30 years or something like that. It's been a while. And that book was written over 10 years ago. So yeah, I've been at this a while, just fascinated with human behavior and movement.
But now I'm curious, like you are doing this, like you're learning and learning continuously from like for 30 years now. But I'm curious, like in your early days, how you even started gaining the knowledge? Because I feel like in that area, like in that times, like you might not have internet or the courses, the college courses. How you learn that?
Yeah, so one of the first books, and one of the first books that was important, I think for anybody in human behavior was Desmond Morris and Man Watching. This is an original copy from back in the 70s or something like that. And for me, it was great because it had just amazing pictures in it, and I loved the pictures. This is now called people watching, not man watching, but still Desmond Morris is one of the most important people within human behavior and body language. So I read a lot of books, but I especially got there were a lot of shows on TV about not only human behavior, but animal behavior. And what I started to do was think about us humans as part of the animal kingdom, part of everything that is living on the planet, and going, what are the similarities? What are the similarities? I mean, I'm not saying we're the same as animals, but there are similarities. And I wanted to understand what's the similarity in, this behavior of animals over here, and how that be true to us as social mammals, ourselves. So I read a lot around that. I watched a lot of TV. I also went and studied on a fine arts course as well, and started to think about how the world of art and performing arts matched this world of influence and human behavior. I went to teachers and practitioners, from across the world, and got very niched in the idea of how you, I guess, choreograph movement in order to get a certain effect from people. I then started working in entertainment and politics and business around, again, how you can train people to use their behavior to influence and persuade people. So that's how I got here, Harpreet. It would have been a little bit easier if the internet had been around
I'm sure.
at the time.
what about now? Like, are you still continuing, are you still learning? What are the best resources now you're looking for your knowledge?
Yeah. So now, the best way that I learn, I'm on this YouTube show called The Behavior Panel. And again, if people want to learn about body language, human behavior, the Behavior Panel is a great place to go. There are 4 other experts in human behavior and body language on that show with me. And the best way I learn nowadays is to make that show with them and listen to what they're saying and listen to what I'm saying in response. And what I'm always trying to do is learn from others. And by learning from others, learn about how I'm building my viewpoint, my skill. I mean, here's the thing, Harpreet, as I say, everything moves and we need to move, and our thinking needs to move all the time. Our thinking needs to move forward. So I'm always thinking, what am I stuck in? And that could be a good thing. Could be good for part of what you're thinking to be solid and stuck somewhere. I don't mind that. But what am I moving forward in? How am I building? How am I growing my thinking? And who do I need to be around in order to build forward with that? So look, for anybody trying to build forward in their understanding, watching this show is a great thing. Being with like-minded, look, the thing is, if you're watching this show right now, I know there are other people watching this show right now, and they want to move forward just like you. So don't think that you're alone. There's lots of people watching this show right now because they're interested in what, Harpreet has to say. They're interested in me being here with you. So there's people already around you who have the same interest as you. Make more contact with them, learn from each other, and then find great guests to come on the show and learn from them.
Interesting. Like when you mentioned, listeners can come on and they can see my perspective as a beginner, and then they can see their perspective, and then they can identify and see how they want to go next.
Yeah. I mean, listen, never be afraid of being a beginner. I'm just a beginner, but I began a bit earlier than maybe most other people watching this.
Yeah, just 30 years of head start.
Yeah, but 30 years of being a beginner. Okay. So what's great is you never stop learning in this field, because there is so much that we thought we knew and we didn't quite know, so much that we kind of learn each year, and so much that can change and move forward each year. So it's not static, it's moving all the time, which is great.